Hey guys, what's up? My name's Kayla from Planning with Kay, and welcome back to another video. I'm so excited to be back today with my April bullet journal plan with me video, where I'm going to be setting up all of my April spreads in my bullet journal. Believe it or not, it's almost the end of March. We're nearly a quarter of the way done with this year, which is just like mind-blowing. It's crazy. Still can't really believe how fast time is flying this year, but I am very excited to set up my new bullet journal spreads for this month. So for my theme this month, I asked you guys in my last Plan With Me video to leave your best April theme suggestions. I went through them, compiled my favorites, and I put them on a poll on my Patreon. And I'm so excited to say that my patrons voted for a rainy day theme this month. Now, the reason I'm so excited is because this is a theme that you guys have been requesting for years. April showers brings May flowers. That whole concept is very popular. Just has never happened. The cards have never really fallen into place there, but it's finally the time, and I'm so excited to show you guys how I put my own spin on this very popular concept, very popular theme, and tried to make it my own. As I'm sure most of you know, I design a new sticker collection every single month, which I use to set up my bullet journal spreads. So I would like to introduce to you the brand new rainy day themed sticker collection. You can see a time lapse of me setting this up to the left. I'm just so excited about how this theme turned out. I decided to go with a primary color scheme, blue, red, and yellow, which is one of my favorite things to do. Haven't done a primary color scheme in a while, so I was very excited about that. I was also sure to include rubber ducks, rain boots, rainbows, lots of clouds, some cityscapes here and there. I really went all out with this one, and I am just so excited about how it turned out. I really love choosing my theme every month from your guys' suggestions. I feel like it really pushes me outside of my comfort zone. I come up with ideas that I don't think I would ever really come up with if it wasn't for your guys' help and inspiration. So that being said, be sure to leave your best May theme suggestions right down there in the comments below. I'm going to be looking through those and compiling my favorites again for a poll for next month. And if I end up choosing your theme, your comment will be featured in my May Plan With Me video. If you're interested in purchasing the sticker collection, it's available in my shop, PlanningWithKay.com, which will be linked down below. Or you can also sign up for my Patreon anytime before April 1st. If you do that, not only will you get access to my live streams, printables, and all my other Patreon rewards, but your stickers will actually ship out in the next couple of days. So if you want to receive these as soon as possible, definitely sign up for my Patreon before April 1st. And with that being said, guys, all that's left to do is jump right into my bullet journal and start setting up some April spreads. All right, guys, let's get right into my April setup here. And of course, I'm starting out with an April cover page. This is going to serve as basically just a decorative start to my month. Gets me excited to get started on my setup. I'm going to be doing a rainbow kind of sky scene on the right, and then on the left I'll be doing a cityscape sort of sky scene there with a decorative quote. I'm using my Crayola Supertip markers for all of the color here. I have a rainbow selection, and then also this dark blue Crayola that I'll be using throughout this entire setup, and I'm going to be writing over that with my white gel pen. You guys always ask what white gel pen I'm using. It's also what I use to make little corrections in my journal. I use it sort of like whiteout, but I have that linked down in the description below, along with all the other supplies that I love to use in my bullet journal. So check that out in the description if you're wondering about any of these supplies. So when this theme was chosen earlier in March, I had absolutely no idea what the state of the world would be. Now that I'm filming this, obviously most of us are quarantined and self-isolated in our homes. The world has turned upside down, and I think that this theme is now even more fitting, makes even more sense for this upcoming month. I'm going to be focusing all of my quotes throughout this setup on basically sort of like weathering the storm. This month is almost as if a rain cloud has come above all of us in our lives. It's something that we can't ignore, and it's our job to just try to basically make the best of it. Take control of what we can, focus on that, and try to get through this next month through optimism and by making sure we keep our hopes up. So the quote that I'm doing on my cover page here says, "There is an end to every storm." That's absolutely true. While obviously life is kind of crazy right now. Our routines have been thrown off. Nothing is really the same as it was before all of this broke out. There is an end to the storm. We will get through this, and it's that hope that we need to carry throughout the hard times, no matter when they come in life. So I am finishing up this cover page here. You can see that I created a really simple cityscape on the left using that dark blue Crayola and my white gel pen. I'm going to be repeating that throughout this entire setup, as well as these super simple little raindrops. I'm just using one of my Tombow dual tip brush pens for that, adding some little birds here and there, and with that, that is the end of my cover page. I also created some digital printable versions of these that are available on my Patreon for $1 in case you guys are interested in setting up a similar cover page without having to do it yourself. Moving right along from that, I'm now going to be setting up my main monthly calendar. I've been doing sort of smaller calendars the last couple months where it only takes up about a half of the spread. I'm switching that up this month and going back to a large kind of full spread calendar. So here every single day gets a space that is 6 spaces wide by 5 spaces tall. I'm then using the dark blue and the white gel pen to write in all of my dates for April 1st through April 30th. All right, now I'm going to do my main header at the top. I'm just going to be grabbing this large rectangular header from the Rainy Day Monthly Kit and going right over top of the rainbow, writing in April. Again, I'm using the white gel pen to do my drop shadows here. I've been completely obsessed with my white gel pen the last few months. I feel like I basically use any excuse I can to use that thing. I just think it really stands out. It creates this fun pop of white, and I just really can't get enough of that. So now I'm filling up all of the extra space on this spread with another sky scene. I really love these cloud stickers. They make it so easy to just fill a whole page up with some really simple decoration. Again, putting my raindrops in, some birds, and I also have a few umbrellas floating away in the sky. At the bottom of this spread, I'm going to be doing another quote. This one, again, like my first quote, kind of elicits the same feeling, gives the same sort of vibe, and it says, "The greater the storm, the brighter the rainbow." At the top of my calendar, I'm just putting in my weekly headers using that same light blue Tombow marker that I used for my raindrops and my Tombow Fudenosuke brush pen on top. And with that, I'm completely done with my monthly calendar. It's a very simple, easy setup this month that I know is definitely going to work well for me. After that, I'm setting up a very familiar spread, which is going to be my daily review and my mood tracker for April. As you guys probably know, my daily review is essentially just a one line a day where I can jot down a daily summary for every single day of the month. I used a header from my monthly kit and then also this rainbow number strip from the functional matching add-on sheet that matches my rainy day theme. I love that rainbow pop here. I think it's so cute. Now on the right, I'm doing my mood tracker. I'm going to be basically drawing in a raindrop for every single day of the month, and the color of that raindrop will correspond to my mood. So I'm creating my sort of color code at the top here, drawing in 4 raindrops in my 4 different colors with a little signifier as to what my mood means if I draw it in that color. And that is it. Super easy daily review and mood tracking spread. All right, now that I've set up some of my standard monthly spreads, it's time to get into the really fun stuff because I'm going to be totally switching things up for the rest of this monthly setup, and I'm so excited to show you guys what I came up with. So I've been contemplating switching things up with how I do my monthly planning for a while now. While certain monthly spreads have always really worked for me, like my daily review and my mood trackers, which I kept the same this month, I felt like some of my other spreads were becoming a struggle for me to fill in every month. especially my habit tracker and my finance trackers. It's not that I don't need these things, because I absolutely do. They're incredibly useful for me and they make my life so much easier when I'm using them, but it just wasn't really working for me tracking these things on a monthly basis. I've consistently been finding every month that I'm having a hard time remembering to flip back to all of these different monthly tracking spreads. I get bored of them, or it starts to feel like I have to force myself to go back and fill them out. And oftentimes by the end of the month, I've either stopped using them completely or I'm using them very inconsistently. So a few weeks ago, I all of a sudden had the idea, what if I took the components from my monthly setup that aren't working for me but that I still want to do, and I try instead to include them on a weekly dashboard for each week. So basically at the start of the month, I would set up a spread for each week, which would then include the things that I'd normally track monthly, like my habits and my bills. That way I'd be less likely to get bored, given that I'd have a brand new spread to use every single week to track all these things. I'd be more likely to remember to fill them out, hopefully, since everything for that week would be located on one easy spread. And I could then also customize each weekly dashboard to include any extra components that I might want, depending on what's going on that week. So I'll have these summarizing weekly dashboards already set up at the start of the month, and then as the month goes on, I'll just set up my daily logs, which will be where I'll have my main daily to-do lists. So you can see here my first weekly spread that I'm setting up as a part of this new idea. I have a section for tasks for each day. This is just going to be a spot for me to pre-plan any tasks I already know I need to get done this week, a section for my habit tracking, and a section for keeping track of any bills that are due. I'm then creating an additional section on this spread since the start of the month is always a busy time for Patreon. That's when the new monthly rewards get posted, like coupon codes, live stream schedule, monthly calendar printables, all that jazz. So I have a separate to-do list here for Patreon, and just like that, that's it for this first weekly dashboard for the month of April. I'm so excited to see how this new idea works out for me throughout this month, and let's get on to setting up all of the rest of these weekly spreads for this month. Alright, so I'm now setting up my weekly dashboard for April 6th through 12th. This is the first full week of the month. I'm just using one of my header stickers at the top along with all of the same supplies that I've been using so far for this entire video. And I'm creating this cityscape on the bottom. This is one of my favorite parts of this whole monthly setup, is doing these cityscapes. I've actually wanted to do a whole theme of cities sort of like this, but this theme basically gave me all the excuse I needed to incorporate that. So I'm just using that Crayola marker, creating this entire skyline down at the bottom of the page. And this spread is basically going to have everything that last spread had, but I'm just going to be switching up the layout. This is one of the things about this new idea that I have that I'm really excited about. I still have all of my basic things that I had as a part of my monthly setup. I have my habit trackers, I have my bill trackers. On this spread, I'm also going to have a gratitude tracker, but I just get to switch up every single week how I choose to track these things. I'm definitely someone that relies on variety in my journal. I get super bored super fast at just using the same layout every single week or every single month, whatever it is. So the fact that I can still track all of these same things that I want to track, but just mix it up every single week, I think is really, really going to work for me. So on the left here, I have my weekly habit tracker. It's just a simple layout where I have a box that is 7 spaces wide for the 7 days of the week, and then I write my habits down the left side, and I just check off a box when I completed that habit on that day. Below that, I have my bills tracker that just has a short list of the bills that are due that week. And then I also have a general task list. This is just to pre-plan any tasks that I know are going to be coming up this week. I'll then have my daily logs that I'll be setting up throughout the month that will have my main task list for each day. I have a section for Patreon live streams because I live stream every week there. I got my gratitude log on the right. And that's basically it for this spread. I'm just going to be adding my raindrop decoration like I always am going to be doing for all of these spreads. And just like that, that is my second weekly dashboard for the month of April with my habit tracker, bill tracker, gratitude log, and a spot for my weekly tasks. All right, moving right along through this setup, I'm now going to set up my weekly dashboard spread for the third week of April, which is going to be for the 13th through the 19th. Now this is midway through the month. It's when things are really busy and amped up. As usual, I'm starting just by creating my header at the top here, using some cute little rain boot and umbrella stickers for some sticker decoration before I go in and fill this whole space up with raindrops. Again, these raindrops are super easy. They're literally just lines. You really just have to make sure your lines go in the same direction and it looks like rain. Anyone can do it. I highly recommend filling up your page with raindrops if you want some easy decoration. So now I'm creating a space for each day on this spread. Each day here gets a section that is 11.5 spaces wide by 14 spaces tall. So I got Monday through Wednesday on the top and then Thursday through Sunday at the bottom. I'm using these cute cloud weekly header stickers from this functional add-on sheet that matches the rainy day collection. And the bottom of each daily section is going to have a little box where I write down all of my bills. I have a lot of bills due in the middle of the month, so it's really nice that I can have a separate section for each day for my bills, so that way I definitely know I'm not going to miss anything. To the left, I have my weekly habit tracker again. I'm really excited that I'm going to be able to actually switch up my habits every week with this new concept. I think it's going to really help me kind of stay motivated to do my habit tracking because I'm not just going to be bored tracking the same things every single month. I get some variety and I get to mix it up. All right, next up, you know what's coming. It's the weekly spread for April 20th through 26th, the second to last week of the month. I'm sticking in this umbrella and rainbow large header right in the center of the spread. I just cut it down the center so that it would fit over that seam nicely. And I'm now dividing this whole spread into 4 separate columns. My column on the left is going to be a general task list for this week. Again, I'm going to be setting up daily logs as the month goes on for my main daily to-do lists, but this is more a spot for me to pre-plan for this week and jot down any tasks I already know are coming up. Next to that, I have another weekly habit tracker. This one is going to be split up into a few sections. I then have my bill tracker, which I really like what I came up with for this week. It's sort of similar to a habit tracker, but I've just outlined the box for whatever day that bill is due. And finally, I decided to include a section on this spread called Good News. I'm anticipating that April is going to be a bit of a rough month. I'm already mentally prepared to be isolated and quarantined throughout this entire month, so I think by the end of the month, I'll probably need some good news and some encouragement. So this is going to be a spot for me to jot down any good news that I hear. That could be personal good news, it can be global good news, just any positive things that I can use to remind myself that everything is going to be okay. Functionally, that's it for this spread. I'm just going to fill it up with some extra decoration, some rainbows, umbrellas, birds, and raindrops, the same shtick as this entire video. And with that, we only have one more spread to set up for this monthly setup. So let's flip the page and start setting up our last couple pages for April 27th through 30th. All right, so here is the last spread of this setup. Again, this is just for the last 4 days of April, and I thought it would be really fun to make this spread sort of extra special as like a celebration that the month is over. I made it through April, made it through a third of 2020. So I decided to use a different color scheme for this spread. It was a recommendation during one of my Patreon live streams when I was designing these stickers. Somebody asked if I could do a sunset sort of color scheme. While I already knew that I wanted to do that blue color scheme for most of the collection, I did think it was a really good idea to maybe include one sheet that was a different color scheme. So I have a warm tone version of these fluffy clouds that I've been using, and I'm going to use those to set up this sunset, sunrise, whatever you want to call it, sort of color schemed sky here for this spread. I'm just using all of those warm tone clouds all around the page to create this big sky scene. I have an adorable rubber duck floating at the top with an umbrella, which I think is just one of the cutest things. I love that combination of stickers to make those little ducks look like they're just like flying away. One of my favorite parts of this spread for sure. On the left then, I'm using one of these banners from that functional add-on sheet to create a end of the month task list. This is probably going to have a lot of Patreon tasks that I need to be sure to complete by the end of the month, other things that are sort of end of the month specific. Below that, I have a little habit tracker for these 4 days with just 4 habits for this week. Wake up by 8, ship orders out on time, post on Instagram, and respond to emails. I'm lettering in another quote at the bottom of this page that again follows the whole theme of this setup, which says, "The clouds will part, the sun will shine." On the right side, I have my daily sections, just using some simple little rainbow sticker headers. And just like that, guys, I am completely done with this monthly setup. I am so excited and ready for April to start. Even with the current state of the world, I feel like this new, fresh setup in my journal has really gotten me excited for this next coming month, and I'm just really stoked to see how all of these spreads work for me. I feel like this is the biggest change in my monthly setup that I've made basically since I've started bullet journaling, and I really think it's gonna work for me. I won't be able to know for sure until I go throughout this whole month and use all of these spreads, but I'm just excited for all of the variety. I'm excited to have a fresh new spread to use every single week to track what I would normally have tracked monthly. And of course, I'm in love with the theme. Everything about this setup is getting me excited. Of course, if you liked any of the stickers that I used today, you can find them all available in my shop. That's PlanningWithKay.com. Or you can sign up for my Patreon before April 1st. Starting at $15 a month, I do automatic monthly sticker deliveries on Patreon, where you can automatically receive the newest monthly sticker collection every single month before anyone else. If you sign up this month, then this collection will ship out to you on April 1st, so that's the quickest way to receive these stickers, and you'll also gain access to all of the printables, live streams, and coupon codes that I already have posted there on my Patreon. As usual, all of the links to everything I'm mentioning are down below, so be sure to check out the description box after this video. Alright guys, that is it for my April Plan With Me video. If you liked it, be sure to give it a like. And don't forget to leave your best May theme suggestions down in the comments below. If I choose your theme, your comment will be featured in my next Plan With Me video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram if you're not already at PlanningWithKay, and be sure to check out all of the links in the description box down below to all of the stickers I used, my shop, my Patreon, and all other social media. I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!